So let's start with a big dog in professional wrestling. Let's talk a little WWE. Clearly, we're on the road to WrestleMania. Things are heating up. Shows are getting more exciting. We're getting matches made for WrestleMania. We got a lot going on here in the world of world wrestling entertainment.
Yes, that is for sure. And you know, a lot of rumors going around, a lot of leaks. We got all kinds of stuff, Ryan. And this time of year is really freaking crazy. Uh let's start off, Ryan. How do you feel about this build to WrestleMania?
Um, you know, I'm excited for Mania as I am every year. Mania season's always great, but other than the main storyline of Cody and Seth versus Rock and Roman, the build's been kind of lacking. Like Becky has been in a feud with Nia this whole time. She's supposed to be heading off to fight Rhea, and she's just been feuding with Nia. They haven't really even interacted at all, being Becky and Rhea. And then on the SmackDown side of things, yeah, their title pictures, with Bayley and Io, but Bayley's more feuding with the whole of Damage Control instead of just Io. I thought that story would be a lot more exciting than what we're getting. The main story is great. The Roman Rock Seth Cody thing is phenomenal. It's one of the best things that he's done in a while, in my opinion. But besides that, everything else is just kind of seems like it's lacking a little bit to me. And maybe that's just me. I don't know, but I just feel like I'm not as invested in all the other stories. Like the main story is there, and then everything else is just kind of happening. Am I alone
Yeah,
in that, or do you feel similar?
I think it's just because of the way they're telling the story. I think it's because The Rock's dominating SmackDown to where it's like a half hour at a time as The Rock. And Cody comes out and does a 20-minute segment, and it's all over social media. They're cutting promos on each other. And so I feel like it's because we're seeing so much of that stuff.
It might just be oversaturation. Then, like
I
it's
think so. I
yeah.
think it's overshadowing the rest of it. But I do agree though that some of these stories are, and I think it's also because we've had between Elimination Chamber and WrestleMania, it's been like freaking 9 weeks or some shit.
Yeah, it's been a long build between these pay-per-views, and it's or PLEs. But yeah, I mean, like we're gonna have some tremendous matches. I think this might go down match-wise as one of the best manias ever, just based on some of the matches we're gonna get. And I'm not saying that this WrestleMania is not gonna be great. I'm not saying that. I'm just saying like I'm hyped for it. It just feels like nothing as, and I guess that should be it. I guess like the main event should be the most important thing on the show, but it just feels like that's up here at the very top. Everything else is kind of flowing underneath it, just kind of existing in the WWE universe. And I don't really know how I feel about that. I don't know if it's a bad thing. I mean, it's obviously working. I mean, numbers are up, attendance is up, sales are up.
Oh,
So
you got sellouts for the first time since the Attitude Era. I
I mean,
mean,
they've sold out what I think 8 straight TV shows.
yeah.
So, like, I mean, it's working. Whatever they're doing is working. So I can't criticize them for doing it. It just seems like, and this is the new direction. I mean, this is new WWE under new ownership, new management for the first time. So we're doing things a little differently now. So
Right. And it's, we'll see how it goes. Ryan, let's get into the meat and potatoes of this. Because we're not here to just do an overcast. We want to dig down deep into this stuff. So let's see here. Let's start off with, let's start somewhere in between, Ryan. Let's talk about the U.S. title thing. How do you feel about this triple threat match?
I, I don't, I don't know. I feel like they could have done more with it. It's going to be, I, it, I don't. First of all, I'm not a huge fan of Logan Paul, like as a person. I want to get that out of the way. As a performer, yeah, he's great. I can't say anything wrong there. I just don't know if this is the match that's good for him. A triple threat match. I mean, it's going to kind of hide him a little bit, I guess. Um, I kind of, I could see it coming from the Elimination Chamber. I didn't know Kevin Owens would be involved in it. I thought it was just going to be Orton versus Logan. So I don't know. I don't know how I feel about it. It's like I feel like they're having this multi-man ladder match. I feel like this should have been a multi-man ladder match, in my opinion.
Yeah, but they've done that so many times with the
Yeah,
Intercontinental title, and I'm
true.
kind of glad it's not that. I I mean, I get, I don't like Logan Paul as a person, but that also helps him as a heel.
Oh yeah, he's one of the best heels. No, deny him and Dominic Mysterio are carrying the heels, and
And
um,
I don't necessarily think that they're doing the triple threat to hide him. I think I think they're doing it as a way out for him to keep the belt. So that way, I think Orton and they're all being all buddy buddy right now.
one of them's gonna turn, right?
Yeah, they're gonna start getting into it, and they're gonna distract each other from what they were
Yeah.
supposed to be doing. And Logan Paul's gonna squeak out of here with the belt. Is what I feel.
I assume Logan Paul's holding it till SummerSlam because SummerSlam is in his hometown. It's in Cleveland.
Yeah, it
Uh,
just makes they already they already had him. That was they've kind of telegraphed this a lot. I mean,
he's the one that
they
made the announcement.
yeah, they could swerve it. They
Yeah,
could
he could
swerve.
lose. He could, they could have him lose, and he could challenge whoever the world champion is, like Cody at SummerSlam or something.
Yeah, he could. He could.
I don't know.
What about the Intercontinental
Uh,
title, Ryan?
so here we go. Now, see, this is where shit is gonna happen, right? So this is where the internet exploded. This is, and I'm on Reddit. I follow the forums. I'm on the internet a lot. Not as much as you. You're kind of, you don't really follow the internet scene like I do. Yeah, Sami Zayn wins the gauntlet match. Sami Zayn is going to challenge Gunther, and I mean, as much as I wanted Chad Gable to win, I look at it this way: the original plan for Mania was for Gunther to beat Brock Lesnar. I
Yeah.
assume. So we're sticking with that plan. Gunther's going to win. So do we really want Chad Gable to lose at Mania? I mean, to
Yeah.
me, Sami Zayn's a good person because he's always going to be over. He's always going to be popular. He's a good guy that just throw in there. He's going to have a great match with Gunther. Gunther's going to beat him. And then maybe we let Chad Gable beat him at Backlash or Bash in Berlin or on an episode of Raw randomly. If Chad Gable is the direction they're going to go, I don't know. I would assume Gunther's going to have to lose this title eventually. But he's been on a roll and he puts on great matches and he's a great champion. So I don't know. At first I was really upset like everybody else. I was like, damn it, this is Gable's moment. But then I thought about it and I'm like, look, Gunther's 99% gonna win anyway. So
Well, I think I think a lot of people the reason they're thinking they could have changed plans. You know what I mean? Like,
yeah,
yeah, beating Brock was the plan, but now that's out of the door. You know,
and they
you
still
could have
could, yeah, but
Gable go in there and beat him at Mania. It'd be a big moment, make him a star. I think that's why people were upset. I'm personally not upset because I think that Chad Gable is going to get his singles run and he is going to hopefully become a star. And I honestly think, you got this Berlin show. I know Gunther's not German.
yeah, he's Austrian.
He's Austrian, but he wrestled in Germany.
It's right
And
there too. Like Austria and Germany
yeah,
are really close. So
I feel like unless he's going to go after the heavyweight title at that show, like, if he's going to go after the world champion, I if he's not going to do that, then he needs to be the Intercontinental champion going into that.
yeah,
And like I've always said with you, Ryan, in our talkings over the phone, I think the best way to go. So this is another reason why I'm glad Chad Gable's not in this match, is because I think that you need to build Ludwig Kaiser,
you've been
and you
you've
need
been
to,
saying this for a while.
yeah, you need to have them go their separate ways. You need to have Kaiser like I don't know, Gunther really gets on to him and fucking you know lays into him, and then he gets a big face push. He's got the energy. He's got the charisma.
He's got everything you need. He
And,
is a star waiting to be made.
and he's smaller than Gunther, so he could play the underdog.
Yeah.
And I think I think that that's the way you should go for Berlin. And then after that, then Chad Gable, somewhere down the line gets a shot at that belt, or he gets drafted to SmackDown and wins the U.S. title.
Yeah. I mean, yeah, like I was all aboard the Chad Gable train too, but I think it's the right decision. Go with Sami Zayn. He's the crowd didn't react to him negatively on Raw, so
Yeah.
like obviously they've cooled down on it. Chad Gable's still gonna get his moment, just like another guy we'll talk about later, probably LA Knight. Like, he, I don't think he's ever gonna get his moment, but Chad Gable I think will eventually get his moment, like you said, and I think everyone just like that emotion that people feel, which is great. WWE's got that again. Like people are actually highly invested in the company, and they really are like wanting certain people to win, which is great. That's what they want. And Triple H is like a master at manipulating these fans and like making them wait till the final moment where they're about to freaking freak out and then pulling the trigger. Triple H is great at that. He did it all the time in NXT. And so Triple H he knows what he's doing. It'll come. We just got to be patient and enjoy the story that's going to happen, I assume, after Mania with Gable. So,
All right, Ryan, let's scoot on over to the women's division because it's a hot topic.
well, yeah.
WWE does their women's division a little better than AEW, that's for sure. But right now, some stuff's going on that I'm like, not too sure about. Like Bianca Belair, Ryan, what the hell is she doing at Mania?
The EST right now is NOT on WrestleMania. If I would assume this is going to lead to some sort of tag team or 6-man tag against Damage Control, with Naomi and Bianca versus Asuka and Kyrie, or they add maybe Jade Cargill to the mix and they make it a 6-man or a 6-woman. Other than that, yeah, that's her direction right now. She's playing second fiddle to the Damage Control Naomi Bailey drama that's going on over there.
Yeah, which is, I get that. And there's nothing wrong with that except for the fact that, on this little kickoff thing they had in Las Vegas, she was one of the people that had to come out and talk.
Yeah, and even on that kickoff thing, she didn't know what she was doing. So,
yeah,
it's so weird.
Yeah, I'm a little worried about that. I think they made a big deal out of Jade Cargill when she was in the Rumble. I get that she's green. Everybody says she's green. But I think you got to if you're going to have her on one of those shows, have a big showing, have her in the final 2.
Yeah.
Of the Rumble.
Yeah.
Then you need to roll with it. And I think her and Bianca should have been at Mania. And yeah, she could have lost. And I don't know. I mean, as long as she looked good in the loss, it would have been okay because it was Mania, But I feel like that's where they should have went. And now it's a little too late for that.
Yeah, you can't build it now. So I don't know. Like I said,
and I don't know if even if it's for the tag titles, it's like, I don't know if that's what Bianca Belair deserves. She's kind of been carrying this women's division for a while, her and Rhea. And kind of crappy, I think.
Yeah, it's very confusing because it's like they put her on all like the posters. Like Bianca Belair is like on everything.
Yeah, she's on the video game.
She's a cover of the video game. She was on, as you said, the WrestleMania press conference thing. She's like all over the place. She's in commercials, and yet she's not the Like, I understand she doesn't have to be the focus, but to have her not even on SmackDown some weeks, and for her to not even be featured in anything right now is very confusing to me.
Yeah,
and I know you can't feature everybody. And Tiffany Stratton has come to SmackDown and made a giant. And I thought for a minute there we were heading to a Tiffany Stratton Bianca Belair match.
And that'd be okay too. I'd be okay with that.
But that seemed to have cooled down the last couple of weeks as well. So I don't know. Where we're heading. Now, the women's division right now, I mean, they've got a lot of talent in the women's division, but yet.
Yeah, but and it's not like there's lack of time because these are 2 4-hour probably pay-per-views.
Yeah.
Yeah, 8 fucking hours. You can't squeeze a Bianca Belair match in there, 10-minute match. I mean, come on.
Yeah. They're going to have a lot of people not on Mania that it's like a lot of big names right now do not have matches.
Yeah, Triple H, he even said that he's not gonna, they don't do the battle royal no more.
I get that, but man, it was just a good way to get everybody on the show.
Yeah, but he says that he wants, because back in back in his era, there are only so many spots and you had to earn your way there, and so that's how he wants it.
I guess, but so Bianca Belair hasn't earned her way according
I
to
think
that
she's
logic.
gonna have a match. I just don't think it's gonna be the match that she deserves.
Yeah,
Let's go over to Ryan. Let's go over to Drew and Seth. This is kind of the same kind of build that you're talking about with Becky and Rhea,
yeah,
where Seth is kind of more focused on The Rock and Cody than he is on Drew McIntyre.
yeah, and it's weird because it's like that's the world title. I mean, it should be like top focus, and the world championship is technically just like a prop in this feud between in this other match. Like the world title is not important to Seth. It feels like, and I know he keeps bringing it up, and he'll be like, "I'm focused on you too," But yeah, this match is weird, and I don't know where they're. I don't because we still don't know for sure if Drew McIntyre is re-signed or not. Like reports are saying he has, reports are saying he hasn't. So again, I don't know where they're heading with this match. I don't know what this build is like. Like Drew's a bad guy, but like
Yeah,
that,
they might say he's a bad guy, but I'll tell you right now, since he's actually caring about the world title, I'm kind of
yeah,
rooting for him.
that's what I was about. That's what I'm saying. Like he's a bad guy in quotes, but he's the only one focused on their Mania match.
Yeah.
He's the one that every week going out there and calling Seth out and saying, "I'm going to take the title," and he's right. I mean, Seth doesn't care. It seems like he's more focused on Roman and Rock, and so I I don't know. Again, this is one of those weird builds where I mean, it's happening and I'm into it somewhat, but it's like I don't know. And then you got to factor in now. Does CM Punk factor into this match at all? Is he he's going to be on Raw in Chicago, which I think is this week.
Yeah.
So will he say I'm going to be the host of Mania? Is he going to be like the special referee in this match? Which they could do because special referee is back in the video game, so they could like tie it in. Hey, this is I don't
Now,
know.
I didn't even think about that. Yeah, they could use that, but they haven't been using that with Bianca Belair though either though. So it's
Yeah,
like,
it's true.
I mean, yeah, I would really like them to tie that in, and I get it, it's 40 years of Mania, so it kind of fucked Cody a little bit because I feel like if it wasn't 40 years of Mania, on this video game, it would have been like Cody Rhodes game. You know what I
Or
mean?
like the
Like
Rhodes family, like him and Dusty together or something.
well, you would have had Cody Rhodes' story like they do with other people,
Yeah.
and I think that's what would have happened if it wasn't 40 years of Mania. But yeah, he talks about finishing the story on there, so I feel like that game. I feel like if you really want to make this game a big deal, you should include it in as many ways as possible. And they even are showing the ratings
Yeah. That's a
of
cool move.
wrestlers. That is cool. So I think you could be onto something. You could be onto something. CM Punk is a special referee.
I just feel like he has to be on Mania at some capacity.
I mean, Grayson Waller's not on here. Right? Maybe he's going to do a Grayson Waller effect, and CM Punk could be a guest.
That's likely too. Like I assume.
Ooh, no, not CM Punk. A light bulb just went off in my brain.
Oh, here we go.
You know who his guest should be? We're in Philadelphia. His guest should be Sylvester Stallone.
Fucking hell, that okay. That took a turn that I was not expecting.
We have fucking Rocky
Yeah,
at WrestleMania.
you know, never know. It's Mania. They pull out all the stops.
Yeah,
So
do it.
yeah.
Uh,
Anyway.
let's go. Before we get to the main event, Ryan, we got to talk about Cody and Rome. That's the main thing going on. before we jump into that, let's think about the tag title situation here, Ryan. There's rumors that a lot of people think that since it's a ladder match, you got both sets of belts up there. There could be a finish where one team grabs one set of belts, one team grabs another set, and that's how we split these titles. Do you feel like that's a good way to split these titles, or is that kind of a cheap way to split these titles?
It's cheap, but it's also unique in a thing that we've not really seen that often, if at all. We've seen two people come down with the belt at the same time and stuff, but we've not seen a tag team ladder match with multiple teams where there's two different sets of titles. So it would be unique. It is kind of a cop out instead of just saying, hey, we've got too many tag teams or something. Let's make an announcement that we're going to split these titles. But I guess it's a way to do it that it's unexpected. You know, like people are saying it's going to happen, but I don't think people are actually thinking it's actually going to happen. It's just one of those cool, like, oh, that'd be cool if that happened moments, but everyone's kind of like, they're not going to actually do it. It would be cool. And I think you do need to split these tag team titles, especially since SmackDown can do a whole mini tournament over here with their teams. So,
both shows have about 10 teams.
I mean, yeah. So they need to split these titles up. It's been way too long now. It's been over a year now.
Yeah.
So like, it was cool when it happened, whatever. But like, we need this. When they did it, they had no tag teams. Now we've got way too many for one belt. So they need to split it. That'd be a cool way of doing it, and I'd be cool with it if they do it. I don't know who the two teams would be per se. Judgment Day maybe gets one. Maybe R-Truth grabs another, and R-Truth thinks he's won with the Judgment Day. They're like, hey, we won together. And yet, they split them. I don't know. But they do need to split it in some way, either there or after Mania or something. We need separate tag team titles at this point.
Yeah. Yeah, it's not like the women's tag where, you only got like 5 women's tag teams split in 2 shows.
And they're not even real tag teams at that, most of them. So,
you gotta do what you gotta do. Right?
Yeah. So,
all right, Ryan. Let's talk real quick. Jimmy and Jay, do you like this build? It hasn't been much of a build.
It wasn't for a while. There wasn't a lot going on until like just recently here they've been interacting again. Yeah, I mean every 15 years, I guess we get brothers fighting each other. So, WrestleMania 55, it'll be the Creed brothers 1-on-1. Yeah, the build's been all right. Like I said, there hasn't been anything happening for the longest time, and then now just recently, Jimmy's been showing up on Raw and screwing Jay out of matches and stuff. So it'll be a good match. I wonder if it's going to get a stipulation added, like tribal combat or something, or Uso, like, I don't know, bloodline rules or something, some sort of stipulation. Because I feel like of all the matches, this deserves to be like a street fight type of match.
I mean, it's a literal blood feud.
Yeah,
they are blood.
Yeah, so I feel like this match of any of them needs no disqualification, street fight, some sort of. Maybe Rikishi gets involved. I don't know. I don't know where they're gonna head with this, but we all saw it coming months ago, and then they did nothing, and now it's like we're waiting till like the last possible moment to start building this up.
I mean, they were in the Rumble, and it really wasn't that much happened between them in the Rumble.
Yeah, they kind of that's why I thought they weren't gonna do it. Like it felt like they weren't gonna go with them at Mania. Because it was like, and then they didn't even like talk about each other. And then just randomly now we're getting close, and then they started building it back up. So, like I said, the builds have not been great besides like the tag team thing. That's like the only build, this Cody Roman Rock stuff. That's like the only thing that's been a good build.
Yeah. So far. We got LA Knight and AJ Styles. I mean, come on. This says LA Knight's going to win all the way. I mean,
yeah, this is just to give LA Knight a credible opponent to beat at Mania. That's all that is.
Yeah, that's all it is. I don't know, man. LA Knight's he's okay. He's not very good in the ring.
No,
he's 40-something years old, but so are some of these other guys. But he's very slow. And I I don't know. I don't see. I think he's gonna wear out. I think the crowd's gonna sour on him after a while. I don't know, dude. I don't know if he's ever gonna get that singles title.
I don't think he is either, and some people just don't. Some people just don't get it. He's still over right now, but I feel like if he eventually doesn't get anything, the crowd's just gonna stop caring. You know what I mean? Like
Yeah.
they're gonna eventually be like, okay, well, he's never winning, so why we don't need to give him reactions anymore. Which would be a shame because they're not like yeah, he's really great on the mic, but yeah, like you said, in the ring, he's not the best. Uh he'd be a good guy to like transition, even though that's what he didn't want to do. But like when his career was winding down, he can take over on commentary, or he'll have a job in WWE probably for the rest of his life if he wants it. Just how good he is on the mic. Could be a manager, commentary, whatever. But I don't know. He'll be a dead.
Uh, yeah. Ryan. Okay, let's top off the main roster WWE stuff here with Cody and Roman. You think how do you think this is gonna play out, Ryan? You think Rock and Roman are gonna lose night one, or you think they're gonna win night one? And then do you think Cody finishes the story or not?
So the thing is, do you bring Rock back, and does he want to lose? Like, is he okay with that? Is he gonna do that for the better of the business? Is he wanting to? Because I can't see Roman losing twice. Like, that would be insane to me for him to get pinned twice.
I mean, if he did though, if he did, he could blame The Rock, you
And
know, and then
yeah,
that could lead to them down the line.
and I feel like that could be the direction we're heading here. I think The Rock still could be like a mole. Like,
But I don't think so though, Ryan. I think the Bloodline wins that match
I do too.
because that way you guys still have all the odds against Cody Rhodes, and is he going to finish this story or not? You know,
Yeah.
and all right, let's get into some rumors here, Ryan, because I came up with a little bit of something earlier today.
Yeah.
Uh, so before we get into AEW,
We're gonna bleed the lines here between the two.
yeah. So before I got it, on AEW shop, not only on the roster page, they took MJ off of there, okay, but on AEW shop now they have taken all his merchandise off. Now it's really weird to me that you would do that because you're missing out on sales. And on their TV show, they have not mentioned MJF leaving the company or is he going to leave the company. They haven't really brought any of that intrigue to their show.
Nope.
So the casual fans and most of the hardcore fans that are hardcore into pro wrestling but don't watch every little dirt sheet, they don't even know that if he's re-signed or not. They don't even care. They just think he has. They're just going to assume that he's hurt and that he'll be back at some point.
Yeah.
So you're doing this for like maybe what 15-20% of your audience
If
that actually
yeah.
is in tune with this shit. So that's a lot of sales you're missing out on MJF stuff. One of your top guys, you're a champion for over a year, not to have his stuff up there to be bought. Just to so what do you think, Ryan? Do you think he actually didn't resign and Tony Khan is
an idiot?
That's stupid. That's stupid to let MJF, the guy that you had as your champion, like I said, for over a year, just get this big run, all this notoriety, and just whoop to WWE.
Man, look, and we'll get into AEW later. Nothing would surprise me if that's what happened, honestly. It wouldn't surprise me. The way I look at the way AEW is booked and the way it's ran, it wouldn't surprise me if that's what he did. That would be a moment where, and now we're gonna put the tinfoil hats on. We're gonna go a little conspiracy theory here. If MJF does, which that's a very good story of Cody losing night one. It's Cody against the odds. Who's gonna help him? Does he have help? My tinfoil
He'll
hat would
have,
be Dustin
well,
comes
see,
out too.
here's the deal. He'll have help, but will he have enough help? So that's where,
Yeah.
so, because he's going to have, he could have, I mean, he might not have Seth Rollins night 2. He might get hurt with Drew.
Yep.
So he
He may
might
not
not
have
have Seth
Jay.
Rollins.
He may not have Jay.
He may not have Jay. It could, yeah. So it could be down to just him. So if MJF shows up to help Cody Rhodes on WWE, first
God.
of all, my first thought is how much of a pop would he get? Because I mean, there is going to be some AEW. People know some,
Yeah.
but this is WrestleMania. Half the people there may not.
That's the thing that you're taking a risk on if this would happen is this crowd going to actually know who he is?
Plus, you're not going to have his song.
Yeah.
So
now, tinfoil hat, Nathan, is Dustin Rhodes still under AEW contract?
yes.
Damn. I was say, man, if they could work out a deal and get him in there. But
Yeah,
yeah,
that would be awesome.
it's gonna be like I said, I can't see Roman losing twice. I can't see Rock eating a pin either. So I am almost on board of saying, yeah, I think they're gonna win night 1, and then it's gonna be, can Cody do it? Can he overcome all the bloodline? Solo, Roman, Rock, Jimmy, Heyman, whoever else they want to pull out the woodwork, or do they go another direction? Does maybe Tama Tonga show up?
Yeah, from New Japan. If I mean, there might be people that listen to this that have no idea who the fuck Tama Tonga is.
Yeah,
So
that's true.
he's a New Japan guy. He's been in New Japan for 13 years. He's the son of Haku, who technically is not in the bloodline.
No, they're not. Yeah, that's.
But for some reason, they still can. It seems a little racist to me. I ain't gonna lie. All island people are bloodline, apparently.
Apparently,
But,
they just include everybody. I don't know.
so if Tama Tonga shows up,
That
that's
would be
another
even.
one.
That's
Yeah,
another. That's a more obscure person.
yeah. Who the hell's gonna know who that is?
Yeah.
So
Yeah, I don't know.
I don't know if they do that either. So yeah, I don't know, Ryan. I think Cody does finish this story. I think they have to. I mean,
If you
fuck
do
it.
you have to pull the trigger. I don't know if the fans can wait any longer. If it doesn't happen now, I don't know if see it happening ever.
Well, and I get this other side of the story, the other side of the coin of a lot of people saying, "Oh, but you want to keep the people wanting more, and if you have him win, what happens next?" Well, what happens next is you got to get creative. You can't rely,
Yeah.
on this story forever.
And what happens next is Solo could step up and challenge him, or you just move on.
Yeah, you just move on from that.
Roman disappears for a couple months, and you don't hear from him.
I get people are worried that if this story ends, that all these sellouts will stop, and that all the momentum will come to a halt. But you gotta trust that you can put on more than just one story.
Okay, but Raw's selling out, and Roman's not on Raw. Who is on Raw? Cody Rhodes.
That's true. That's true. There you go. That's a good
So
point.
that's indication that it's going to sell out regardless. WWE's hot regardless. Roman's not even on half of the SmackDowns, and it's selling out.
True.
Rock's on it sometimes, and they're still selling out. So I think that's not a problem I would worry about. I think they're going to, and if it dips a little bit, it dips a little bit. I mean, you can't sell it forever. Like eventually, it's going to slow down. But like, Cody's over, man. He's a draw, and he's proven it every week. I think you have to do it.
All right, Ryan. Let's take a step. This kind of mean to say it this way, but let's take a step down to developmental here, Ryan.
Yeah.
Let's go to NXT real quick. Let's talk a little bit about NXT, Ryan. I feel like NXT has kind of cooled off after their what was the name of that pay-per-view they had with Laura?
Deadline?
Deadline, yeah, after Deadline. They
Well,
kind of
no.
cooled off.
Actually, the last one they had was Valentine Vengeance Day.
Yeah. Is that the one where he got Trick Williams got the title shot?
Yes.
Okay. Well, after that one, it is cooled down quite a bit.
Man,
because
yeah.
I mean, I'll watch this show and I'm just like, man, you had all this momentum. Everything felt like it was cooking. And now it just feels like everybody's spinning their wheels. And we got a bunch of people on here that we didn't have before that are just
That's
feel like
that's
little too green to be on TV sometimes.
yeah.
And I get their developmental, but man, I feel like they had something going there, and now you got Tony D'Angelo going after this belt, and
Hey, you
it
do
don't.
not besmirch the name of Tony D'Angelo. All right, that is your next NXT champion. All right,
Well,
he brought
I'll
in
tell you like
Lucius Crucifino. Come on, or whatever the hell
yeah,
his name is.
exactly.
Luca,
So,
Wookie. I don't, whatever.
but yeah, so that it just feels like it's all slowed down, and it should not be slowing down on your way to WrestleMania weekend.
Yeah, I
So
mean,
I feel like they got to kick it up after this. Roxanne Perez heel turn is not doing it for me.
oh boy, oof,
She is not heel material.
man, her promo she
I
cut.
get it. Well, I get it's developmental, and so they want her to try to be a heel. You got to try to get both sides of the coin, see if you can do it. But man,
I
I
mean,
think she's like Rey Mysterio. She just needs to be a face all the time.
I get where they're going with it. Like she does feel slighted that she never got her rematch. She does. It's warranted. This is one of those warranted heel turns, right? Where they're like,
Yeah.
they're kind of right, but the promo she cut was the typical you people promo, which is like I'm a heel because you booed me. You guys
Yeah.
turned on me, which I hate. That's just
It was very, very generic. And
yeah. So there was no uniqueness there. There was no like the reason for the heel turn was the reason everybody turns heel. So
yeah.
uh it may work out in the end, but right now it's hitting its rough spot. Her wrestling as a heel is not as good as a face because I don't know if she's ever wrestled as a heel, but if she has, she certainly hasn't done it in WWE and certainly hasn't been wrestling very long anyway, so she probably hasn't done it much as a heel. So I don't know how that match with Lyra is gonna go with her as the heel. Yeah, that's I don't know. Like you said, I get why they did it, but right now it's off to a rocky start.
Yeah. And the whole tag team stuff is just falling off, man. They have this tournament going on. Half the people in the tournament are from the main roster.
The champions are one of the champions is from the main roster now.
And I know, and it's just like, like that. That's not saying much about your tag team division. So I think they're gonna have to amp this up, man. They're gonna have to they're gonna have to have some people step up, and they're gonna have to trust some of these guys that they haven't put on TV yet to try to be a tag team and step up here because a lot of these guys are from the main roster, and they don't want to be down there.
Yeah.
So I mean, you're eventually gonna have to have
I
something.
mean, you've got OTM. Yeah. Like I'm not fans of them.
Yeah.
And then yeah, their tag team division's weak. I don't know where Gallus is. I'm hoping they get called up. They're like the only good tag team they got down there. So
I thought maybe uh Oro Minza and Noam Dar were gonna be in this thing. I thought I thought that would be a nice little pivot for Noam Dar after losing his Heritage Cup.
no, he's still going for it. Still
Yeah.
feuding with that, kind of. He's also feuding with somebody.
Well, he wrestled Trick Williams last week.
Yeah, Trick. Yeah. Again, this is another thing where, and I kind of like it, but they've got these guys who are in these feuds and they're in these minor feuds at the same time. And it feels like you're taking the focus off of the main feud to focus on this minor stuff.
Yeah.
It's weird, but
it is very strange.
I don't know. It's just,
But yeah, just wanted to talk about that real quick.
yeah,
NXT needs to step it up. It's almost WrestleMania, man.
it's okay. We got Soul Ruka back. I
Oh,
got to see the Soul Snatcher again. Everything's fine in the world.
yeah, it was a little slower, but it was there.
Well, look who she was wrestling. I don't even know who she was.
I know.
And we got Obafemi. So, we're good.